game is over, and KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Cache Valley Bank Mortgage, Castelite, and LSS Insurance. KVNU Game Day with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis.
And always after the game, it's Eric Frandsen, Ryan Boehm, the former Aggie running back, joining with me as well. Utah State 51-31, the final score over Hawaii. A game where Utah State did dominate and lead all of the game. And really, they got a 7-0 lead, and then the defense made a play at the goal line where Hawaii had a chance early to make it 7-7. They did not. The Aggies then scored, made it 14-0, and then Hawaii chasing. Hawaii looked like at the half they had gotten back in the game, and the Aggies came out and immediately made it 41-10, and then it got a little bit weird with a few plays, but there were big plays both teams made. But the Aggies win at 51-31, and a very satisfying win today to get bowl eligible, to keep the lead in the Mountain Division, to make it 6 in a row over at Hawaii. And again, the Aggie defense, in some ways, even though they gave up the 31 points, take away the one that the offense gave them 2 touchdowns, really, with turnovers in the game. Really, this is a better defensive game by Utah State today. So, Eric, your first thoughts on an Aggie win today? I think it was a pretty good team effort today. Obviously, lots of offense, but the defense did really hang in there and stop their running game.
Yeah, I really thought that one of the keys coming into this game was that all 3 phases needed to work well for Utah State, and the turnover battle was going to be an interesting one. That was even, so they didn't really win that one. But that being said, I thought the special teams made some great plays, certainly with that onside kick return for a touchdown. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. But the defense made enough of the right plays, and the offense was great today. A lot of interesting play calling, mix of who it was being thrown to, and great running as well. So great team win today for Utah State.
Same thought or comment to you, Ryan Boehm, a former Aggie. That's a nice win to get to bowl eligible at this early stage of the year with all the games left, and the Aggies did get it done today with a lot of big plays.
Yeah, this was definitely our best game on both sides of the ball, obviously. A couple bad plays by Peasley that end up costing us some points. But, you take out those 2 plays, and we really dominated on offense. We were very creative, threw the ball around. Definitely our best running game, no question. We switched things up. We ran a lot more power, versus kind of the zone read scheme. Noah ran the ball well today. Just all around great performance.
Let's talk about performances right off the bat. There should not be many more people talking about the fact that Logan Bonner needs to spell time a little bit with Andrew Peasley. Bonner was definitely the guy today. He was on it. And then on the defensive side, probably the first name that to me jumps out is Byron Vaughns, who's the transfer from Texas, who we've waited for to make plays, and he made plays all over the place. His tip of the pass at the end zone, Ryan, in the first half may have decided this game. And rather than being 7-7, it's 14-0, and they're chasing the whole game.
Yeah, that was a huge play, big momentum swing, then we go down and score again. Those are the type of plays that really do win football games. A big 14-point swing, you get more momentum. It's pretty deflating for the offense to get down to that spot and then turn the ball over. So those are the type of individual plays that really do make a difference. I agree with you. I think that was one of the key plays early that swung the momentum in our favor.
And Eric, do you want to make a comment about Logan Bonner? Because, again, he was really good today.
Yeah, he was what was his passing?
Let's see, I've got it right here. It was
21 of 30.
21 of 30. And again, a lot of the interceptions are late in the game. When the game was decided, 24 of 28, I think he was, 361 yards and 4 scores. First game he has not thrown an interception in.
Yeah, I thought he looked in control. I thought he was smart in how he surveyed the field and where he was doing his checkdowns and making the right reads. I thought play calling helped him as well. So Bonner had a great game. In the second half, he was getting dinged up and run over a little bit more. So that protections need to show her up. But I thought they did a better job of protecting for him. And great. I mean, the guy's he's a dealer, man. He's looking to make a play. And great performance from Logan Bonner today.
In fact, today, Eric, might have been Ryan, I'm sorry. It might have been his first game where his running plays were huge in the game today. Bonner kept the ball at the right times today in this game to run the ball.
Yeah, the option that he ran, I think that was in the fourth quarter, was solid for a first down. He had a couple other scrambles that, were proficient, go get 6-7 yards. So, yeah, I think he played super solid today. Made good reads, threw the ball, was smart. When he needed to throw it away, he threw it away. Last week I thought he held the ball too long a few times, and about half those sacks were probably on him, where tonight the ball was on time. Again, if you look at, 7 to Tompkins, 5 to McGriff, 4 to Wright, 2 to Terrell, 2 to Nathan, 2 to Bowling. You can't spread it around more than that. That's tough on a defense if you got 5 guys in routes and he's willing to throw to any one of them. So definitely his best game, without a question.
Isn't it amazing the stats that with all of his attention and what they can do, bracketing and doing everything, Eric, that Devin Tompkins continues to get 176 yards today on 7 catches in the game.
Opposing teams, they know about this guy. I mean, they game plan for him. They're very much aware of him, yet he still finds a way. And look, he's small of stature, but his catch radius is big because he goes up and gets it. He fights for it. He'll adjust to go get the ball. You talk about Bonner as a gamer. This guy's a gamer, and what he's able to do every week is just incredible. He just has great control of his body when he gets up there and sells out to make sure he gets the catch.
I told Coach Blake Anderson, Ryan, last week that his best recruit so far, other than getting his new wife, was keeping Devin Tompkins when he went in the portal. Wouldn't you have to agree with that?
Yeah, I was really disappointed when he did enter the portal, and I thought for sure he was gone. And then to have him come back said a lot to me about Coach Anderson and his staff, because there was no question he was our most explosive player. And, this year, obviously, it's played out, and he's putting up video game numbers. So, we just got to keep finding creative ways to get him the ball, because, every game that goes along, teams are going to, scheme for him even more. And, he's a fantastic athlete. Throw it up, he'll go get the ball. But we need to not, I guess he's not going to be able to just go up and get the ball against everybody. So let's keep being creative, maybe get him the ball on some jet sweeps. I like shovel passes. We just need to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. I mean, that kickoff return today was huge. He's just so explosive.
And Ryan, you know more about play calling than Eric and I do. How about the one play where Bonner rolls right and throws the screen pack to Terrell? Was that the best design play that you've seen the Aggies run in a long time? That was great.
Like I mentioned, this game from a play calling perspective was the best by far. That was a great play. I loved it. They must have seen something, a tendency that Hawaii had to bring blitz off the short side of the field, and so they dialed it up, and it ended up being perfect. But more than that was the running game. This is the first game that I feel like we ran the ball downhill, where we've said, hey, we're going to pull a guard or a tackle. We're going to come right at you. And, Noah isn't the most shifty of a guy. He's more of a downhill guy, and it just fit his style. And he just kept going, and Makakona's the same way. So you got to run the ball downhill a little bit more. And we did today. And I'm like, come on, Coach, this worked. Let's not go back to the other thing next week, because I think you found something that we can be effective. Because, Hawaii's got a good defensive line. So for us to be this effective against Hawaii, I think we can do it against everybody else in the Mountain West.
I think you're probably right there. So Ryan Bohm with us. Eric, you've got to – I wrote down the text number to bring it in here, and I can't find my slip of paper. The text number is?
435-339-0321.
Okay. 0321. So 339-0321 on the 435. And our number to call in is 752-5868. 753-5868. 753 KVNU. And again, we'll have also stuff from the stadium, but we'd love to hear from you. If you watched it, you had to find it through the app, but you could find it. But we hope a lot of you from the stadium want to call in and talk about what you saw today as the Aggies win 51-31 over Hawaii to get bowl eligible, 6-2 start. And we'll continue with Game Day. Brought to you in part by Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Always make it special. Make it Jarek's. Again, the store that's great for engagement rings, but lots of other great things available there at Jarek's as well. We'll be right back with Eric and with Ryan and with you on our Game Day postgame on KVNU today.
This is Bruce Rigby from Cache Valley Bank. People come to me all the time and say, wow, Cache Valley Bank is growing. We are growing and providing banking services to many communities in Utah and particularly here in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank is actively involved in our communities with local people who can make decisions quickly and professionally. We're a community bank and Cache Valley is important to us. Cache Valley Bank, growing, expanding, and proud to have our roots firmly planted in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Building, remodeling, Daryl's has the wall oven for you. This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. We have a great selection of single and double Whirlpool wall ovens in stock right now. Whirlpool wall ovens help you manage mealtime for the whole family. That's at Daryl's, where service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road.
See Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's fireplace category help you update your home with Napoleon's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Napoleon has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
The holidays bring family, friends, and parties and more. How important is it to you to know that your house is sparkling clean this holiday season? Trust ChemDry of Northern Utah's hot carbonating extraction process to ensure your home is the cleanest, healthiest environment for your family gatherings this season. From carpets to hardwood floors to furniture and even granite countertops for baking. This is Daryl with Northern Utah ChemDry. Call us for some amazing holiday deals and happy Thanksgiving.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
Al Lewis here and our friends Eric Franson and Ryan Bohm and you. We'd love to have you join with us again. We always do a Castellite rock solid hit of the game. Remember, if you're looking for brick for your home, tile for the bathroom remodel, pavers for any kind of walkway or something in the yard, it's Castellite. And online, Castellite.com, lots of ideas about reducing the DIY stress. And that's Kevin Metzenheimer is going to get my honor for this game with all the things that Byron Vaughn's did it today. Kevin Metzenheimer's hit on that one screen pass when the Aggies had gone up 34-10, and then he leveled the guy on a screen pass, an inside screen to the kind of the wide receiver. He just belted him. They had to punt the ball. The Aggies eventually took it down and went up 41-10 after that. That will be my rock-solid hit of the game from Castellite today in the game for the Aggies, who win the game 51-31. Incidentally, San Jose State leads Wyoming 27-21 in the fourth quarter. If you missed it last night, Nevada scored the first 34 points and beat UNLV 51-20 was the final score of the game last night. So those are the finals in our conference. Boise State's playing Colorado State today. That was going to get started here in a few minutes. That's on CBS Sports Network. And then Fresno State, San Diego State's probably the featured game in the conference today. That's 8:30 tonight, also on CBS Sports Network for the game. So, again, Utah State with a nice, solid win today. And, boy, Ryan, isn't it neat to see what Elion Noah has done the last couple of games with the running game for Utah State?
Yeah, he stepped up, ran the ball hard, and we needed that. I think today's a great example of if we can. We've always been effective throwing the ball, but when we can run the ball, even how much more does it spread the field? You know, that little kind of fake that we do on many of our plays that I don't really like, it actually becomes effective when you can run the ball. And so him coming out, going for 100 yards, just opened up the rest of the offense.
We only allowed, Eric, North Dakota 65 rushing yards, I think, by the end of the game. Today, Hawaii had 12. And they've been averaging 200 or so over their last 3 games that they've been playing, or they're in 3 victories.
Yeah, and I know one of their main running backs is not available, but still.
This guy had 160 yards, and he was a good receiver today.
Yeah, this Calvin Turner, he can make plays, and he's shifty and he's fast. After giving up, career nights week after week for Utah State for opposing running backs, they did a really good job today, just loading up, locking things down. I thought that there was also not a lot of isolated guys trying to stick an arm out to slow someone down. Anytime there was a tackle attempt, it seemed like there were a couple of guys there at the same time trying to make that happen. And that wasn't just an isolated play on defense. There were multiple guys swarming to where it was to make sure that running back was brought down. So I thought the defense did a nice job adjusting and doing a fine job of stopping their running attack.
And you have to be honest about our pass defense today. I mean, Utah State give up in the end of the game, 348 yards, but it's 27 out of 46. And at least today, Ryan, we saw more passes get defended when they're thrown to somebody. We saw the defensive guys knock away some passes today.
Yeah, I felt like, we gave up some yards, but we weren't giving up a bunch of touchdowns. Toward the end we did when they had a short field and things. But yeah, overall, besides giving up a defensive touchdown and a couple blown coverages, I felt like the defense played pretty solid. We actually got some pressure on the quarterback. I liked our blitz package today. We got some hits. I think that targeting call, strip fumble was bogus. What are you supposed to do? You hit him right in the chest. Didn't launch. I thought that was a really bad call, but I think overall defensively, I think they can definitely feel like they played a good defensive game.
It's kind of interesting. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we've been highlighting Vaughn's. He had a fantastic game, probably his best game in an Aggie uniform without question. But I thought that Nick Henninger played great, too.
Nick Henninger's
push on some of their guys on the offensive line.
They called the guy for holding it. Nick was just barreling him over on that play, So, but Nick has really played pretty solid throughout the whole season and all. And I was going to, I got to see. I can't remember what my point was that I was going to get to a few minutes ago. So let's go on. But again, as I get into this, I want to ask Ryan a couple of specific things. You mentioned they ran the ball different today a little bit. Explain and expound on that just a little bit to let us know more about what you're talking about there.
I'm sorry, what was that question?
About
I missed that.
How they ran. You said we ran the ball a little differently today. Expound on that just a little bit more, if you could.
So, every game to this point, we've been running this read zone, type of running game, which is all the linemen block down, the running back takes the ball, it kind of develops slowly, and then, you get a cut and you try and get vertical. Well, that style of running game works great when you have a really shifty back and you've got great offensive linemen that are going to, create lanes for the running back to run. It just hasn't been effective. It's taken too long. Bonner really isn't a threat running the ball, so teams aren't having to protect against him, so they're keying on the run. It just really, that first down, second down, and then we're 3rd and 8 type of mentality. Well, today it was completely different. We ran that play maybe 3 or 4 times, but almost every other run we would have more of like a power formation where we would pull a guard or pull a tackle around and lead up the hole. We had tight end plays where we were leading, just a much more downhill. It's kind of more of a commit. Instead of this RPO, like maybe we're going to run, maybe we're going to pass, it's like, hey, we're going to run the ball and we're okay going and getting 4 yards. And today it was 7, 8, 9, 10, So I've been begging for that the whole season in the sense of I don't think we have the back. Tyler Jr. is more that style, but Makakona and Noah aren't. They're more downhill. So in order to, give them the best chance to be successful, we need to block in the same fashion, which is get downhill and just let them go get 4 yards. And so I hope that we continue to have more of this style of running moving forward.
Let's take a pause for station identification here as we're doing game day on of the Aggies win, 51-31.
News at the top and bottom of the hour. News Talk KVNU, Logan, 610 AM at 102.1 FM. Proud to be locally owned and operated by the Cache Valley Media Group.
Al Lewis here again. We appreciate Ryan Boehm joining with us, former Aggie, and we do have Eric Franson, and it's post-game Aggie call. We're going to hear from the stadium and players and coach. We'd love to hear from you. You can use the phone at 753-5868 or the text line, which is 339-0321, and we got something there?
Yeah, 2305 texting in. So happy you three are on the air after each Aggie game to explain what happened in the game. Just have a difficult time listening and figuring out what the guys on that other broadcast are talking about. Wish the three of you were in the booth. Go KVNU.
Well, that's nice of you. Noah had the first run of the game, remember, 36 yards to get it started today on the ground. Did we not in this game, Ryan Boehm, see some of the weirdest calls called on the defense a couple of times for defensive, like illegal blocks and low block? We haven't seen this kind of stuff all year long.
Yeah, that Hawaii defensive lineman comes running off the sideline, and he goes and blows up our offensive tackle, and they call illegal, blindside block.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was
well, he did
bogus.
line up at the start of the play on the sideline. I mean, maybe that's why he's feeling.
Yeah, there was definitely a few calls that I, didn't agree with. Some of the reviews I thought went our way when I thought they were going to go Hawaii's way.
I thought you were exactly right. I was going to say the Aggies were 2 up on reviews at halftime and might have been 0 for 2 in some of the times. And then maybe in the second half we were 0 for 2 when we could have been 2-0 in the second half on the reviews too.
Yeah, you just never know with the officials. And I swear the more, certain you are that a play is going to be overturned or something, you should bet the other way. So, but, fortunately, I think, some of the key plays went our way, some of those key calls, and it was just, that's the way it's going to be. They're going to influence the game, and hopefully you've got enough lead that doesn't cost you a football game.
And as they made a little bit of that run a couple of times there, how about the plays that we made? Again, the onside kick return that Eric mentioned earlier. Ryan, you ever seen that before?
I don't know if I've seen it at the collegiate level. I've seen some of that stuff in high school, but to field that and then go score a touchdown, that's pretty heads up play. It's most of the time you'd tell that guy, hey, we just want you to get down, but what the heck, go score a touchdown.
Well, and then
full field of grass in front of you.
Brandon Bowling had a touchdown catch already in the game, so why not run for his second touchdown of the game?
No. So weird.
Yeah, I mean, that was a weird play. And you understand what Coach Anderson was thinking, guys, to take Bonner out of the game after all the stuff we've seen him going through, and even hurt his knee. It looked like a hit on one of them today, but he got up and ran off the field. To put Peasley in, and all of a sudden, 2 bad plays by Peasley kept Hawaii in it there for a while, too.
I really felt bad for Peasley. I think he's just trying to make some plays, but just did not go his way
that
at all.
That pitch play wasn't good,
Pitch play was terrible. But
just eat it.
Yeah, just eat it. So, I mean, for all the talk about who should be the starting quarterback, if today's game doesn't make it as definitive as it needs to be, I don't know what else can be done. But, look, Peasley, there will be times for Peasley to still have some times or some moments to help this team offensively. But, he just kind of had a rough day today. Hopefully he gets past it and has better days ahead.
We did not see in the red zone, though, maybe Peasley come in. And we did struggle a couple of times when we had, first and goal in this game, Ryan Boehm, to still win at 51-31. And we didn't get some of those in and had to settle for field goals.
Yeah, it's I think our first punt came with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. We never punted until those last 2 times of the ball until we kneeled with it at the end. Yeah,
so we were moving the ball. Obviously you'd love to punch it in for touchdowns every time in the red zone, but that's just not going to be realistic. And sometimes you just got to kick a field goal and, play for another series. But overall, again, I felt like our offense was very creative. I get frustrated when I'm watching it and I'm predicting plays, and I really couldn't today. I felt like we came out just with a different style, and I don't know if that's just like a mandate for the rest of the season, if that was just something that we saw against Hawaii, but I hope that it's a a style shift for us just going forward because it was so effective today.
One other thing we need to point out, the defense did really bail the team out, too. It's 14-0. Coach Anderson tried an onside kick at that time. Hawaii recovered at our 46-yard line, and they punted from our 47-yard line after 3 downs, and they punted on 4th down. So that could have changed the whole momentum of the game there after the defense had made that interception with Cash Gilliam getting it off the tip from Bonds when it's 7-0 at that time, and we go down to make it 14-0. We tried to be aggressive there. Didn't work, but still our defense hung in there, and that's where Hale Motuapuaka against his native state made some really good plays too.
Yeah, his first 2 sacks of the game of his career of the season, coming back-to-back plays.
Yep,
so great for him. Another quick text that's come through. This is from 9310. I think a lot of Aggie fans thought the grass was greener with Peasley. Guess we should trust the coaches who see them at practice every day.
It's probably a good point.
I mean, Peasley had that big bomb down the sidelines.
He did. Threw the ball. He threw the long one to Devin Tompkins.
Yeah, and he can make plays. I think he's got great feet, and he's fast, and was almost able to recover that fumble. Save the touchdown, I should say, from that fumble. But, I don't know where his head was at today in some of those plays, but he'll be all right.
Did you see Ryan, the TV where Coach Anderson is cradling and talking to Peasley? I think he wants to keep him on this team and keep him in the right spot mind-wise, don't you think there?
Yeah, I mean, Bonner has been banged up most of the year, and, our protection hasn't been fabulous, so it's likely that he's going to continue to get banged up. So you need a number 2 quarterback, and especially one that, has the potential to make some big plays for you. So, yeah, Peasley had a rough day, and I feel bad for him because I think he does just want to make plays. He's a guy that could have bailed on the program. Who knows, still could do that. But we do want him here because he is explosive. We've seen flashes of really, great plays. But today wasn't his best.
Andrew did tell me preseason he thought the portal was for people who should have a reason to leave, and he didn't ever feel that, is what he said after last year's season. So we'll be back with more. We'd love to have you join with us. We'll get stuff from the stadium as well. Mitch Henline talking to the players and coaches, and we'll have that for you here post-game. Aggies win at 51-31. If you're in the stadium or you got other questions or comments, we do have the text line, 435-339-0321 or 753-KVNU. We'll be back with more of our game day coverage of the Aggies win, 51-31. Bowl eligible now. Continue to lead the Mountain Division of the Mountain West Conference. Game day on KVNU.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Open enrollment for individual health insurance is November 1st through January 15th. Coverage through the marketplace is still available with more tax credits, making it even more affordable. We'll help you navigate the marketplace, understand your plan options, and complete enrollment and save big. Trying it on your own can be frustrating. Let us help. Call 752-9493. There's no cost to work with us. Having a local agent makes all the difference. Call 752-9493.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be named gold medalist for the best of Northern Utah in the AC HVAC category. They were named silver medalist for place to work and remodeler contractor. They thank you for your votes of confidence in their company. You have many choices when it comes to your home's heating and air conditioning system. Make sure you choose the gold medal winning company, Advanced Heating and AC. Call 752-7272 or stop by their showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
It's Al Lewis and Eric Frandsen and Ryan Bohm joining with us post-game. Again, we appreciate you texting in at the 339-0321 number. You can also call us again at 753-KVNU. Looks like we're going to have Byron Vaughns and Logan Bonner from the stadium. In fact, I think I've got Logan Bonner ready to go right here. Did we want to get any? Is there anything in the text?
Nope. I think we're good.
Let's go to Logan Bonner then. Our post-game coverage of the Aggies brought to you in part by Daryl's Appliance Service and Sales. No risk extended warranty available. If you don't use it, after 5 years, they're going to give you your money back. Their warranties cover it all. No crazy copays. It's Daryl's Appliance Service and Sales, beautiful downtown Benson. 4 touchdown passes, as Doug Hoffman's telling everybody. So here we go.
Logan, you guys really thought open up the offense a little bit today. Flea flicker at the beginning of the game, a misdirection to Terrell for Walston fan zone. Kept the ball on that option for the big first down there. How fun was this game for you guys to really kind of take that next step as an offense?
Well, believe it or not, the option is not a trick play. I know I don't run it a lot, but most people think that's probably a trick play for them. But no, I think we did a good job. I think that the guys just wanted to go out there and be consistent and really execute the game plan. And I think we had a really good plan. And I think all the guys, I had all day back there to throw. The guys did great up front, and the wideouts did great, just making plays. So I think overall we did really well. We just got to keep improving.
Was there an offensive halftime adjustment? Because you just came out and rolled off 3 touchdowns pretty quickly, like 200 yards or something.
No, we just wanted to do our job. There's a couple plays that we had that we thought we could capitalize on that I missed. I couldn't really see. And so that's what we wanted to come back to, and then we hit them. And I think that we overall executed really well when we came out at halftime.
So statistically, you can make an argument this is the best game of your career. Do you feel like, just from thinking about the game, that it was one of your best?
You really don't realize when you're in the moment how the stats or what you're doing. You obviously know the touchdowns and stuff like that, but I was just trying to focus on the team, getting the guys going, put the nail in the coffin. We need to finish every drive, and we try to do that to the best of our ability. It was like I said, I wouldn't be able to do that with the guys up front. They played really well. I'm really proud of them. Some of the guys stepped up. We're still really banged up in all areas, running back, O-line, and some of the wideouts. So I think they did a really good job of just making plays for me and helping me get the ball out there to them.
Hawaii obviously has some ball hawks, having 10 interceptions coming into this game. You didn't throw any picks today. So how encouraging was this for you? How much does this mean to you to avoid those interceptions today?
Yeah, obviously you don't want to throw any picks. I've been doing that a lot lately and putting us in really bad positions. And it was good. Protecting the ball was always the number one key. I don't mean to do it. It's just sometimes it happens. It's just the game that we play, and we run throw the ball around. But it's always good to not have any picks and stuff like that and take care of the ball.
Louis, what are your thoughts on being bowl eligible with 4 games left in the season?
We got 4 games left. On to the next.
So you brought up Tompkins. What's it like having him? It seems like you're just able to kind of throw it to him and he goes and get it. What's it like for you as a quarterback to have someone like that?
A lot of reassurance. He's a stud. And like I said before, he plays bigger than he is, and that's what makes him so special. He's a special player in college football, and he's really hard to cover.
How fun has it been to kind of see the evolution of Justin McGriff? You've connected with him for a couple of big plays. His hands showcase some sure hands on a couple of plays today. So how fun has that been to see him give you another weapon?
Absolutely. He can do it. He's really talented in every aspect of the game. He's a big dude. You can't coach that. And I was really proud of him making plays today and being aggressive with the ball. He knows that we talked about it before every game. The ball's in the air, it's his. And if he can play like that every time, he's going to be a really, really hard receiver to cover.
Logan, looking for a chance to play in the Mountain West Championship game. Like you said, 4 games left, including 3 conference games left. What are some things you're doing to prepare for those games to go play in the Mountain West Championship?
Well, one of the things I'm doing is preparing for next week. I'm going to enjoy this one for 24 hours, and we're not going to speak about a Mountain West Championship. We're going to prepare for the next game and take it one day at a time.
Guess what? The Aggies don't, and the coach won't let them. And I had a pregame interview that I hope you heard on our game day before the game with Logan Bonner today. We went extensively into things. And Ryan Bohm, one of the things he told me was that last Friday night, by about maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, he was watching what he did against Colorado State. He spent some time with his family. His family, he says, come to every game. His dad, his mom, his sister from Texas. They go to every game, rode her away. He spent some time with them, and then by Saturday evening, he was studying Hawaii film. That was last Saturday for today.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to win Division I football games. These are professionals, so you need to put in the time. You need to scheme correctly. Coaches are good, but you're still dealing with some kids that are 18 years old as well. So, obviously Bonner's not, but just recognize that those coaches have to keep these kids focused, keep them thinking about the next team, because any team in this division could win any week. And, I think we're a great example of that. We've won how many games by a touchdown?
13 points. Quarter. Coming into this game, our wins had been by a total of the four closers at 13 points total.
Yeah. So, that's the difference of one play in a football game. So the fact that, he mentioned, hey, we're going to enjoy this for a day and we're going to come back tomorrow, and they'll go and, get some running in tomorrow and a little bit of therapy, and then they'll start watching film.
I mean, you can tell that Logan is the kind of guy that you would hope the rest, if most of the rest of this team, and he talks about, Tompkins always being the hardest working guy on the team, the coach does. If a number of these guys feel the same way, that we just got to beat New Mexico State right now. That's what they're thinking now. As soon as they've got this one done, they'll celebrate for a little while, and then it's just New Mexico State, and not thinking about having to get San Jose, Wyoming, New Mexico to finish it off the right way.
Yeah, I love that mentality. This coaching staff has instilled in the players. You hear that from coaches all the time.
It can be coach speak.
Yeah, it can be coach speak, but anytime that question comes up to these players, they're fast to dismiss it and say, "Oh, we've got another opponent we've got to prepare for, and that's our focus."
Yeah. And you were going to say something, Ryan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I agree with Eric that every single player that we've heard answered that question the exact same way.
Yeah.
So it's certainly something that the coaches, it isn't just coach speak. They're preaching that to their players, and they've, ingrained that in the team, that's the way we prepare. That's the way that we talk. And so, they believe that.
51-31 the final, beat Hawaii. Again, go to 6-2. And the conference record to 4-1, and it's S.C. Needham Jewelers where Utah gets engaged. That will bring us our coaches' comments post-game. Let's go up to the stadium again, and here's what Blake Anderson said after the win over Hawaii today.
Excited how the guys came out today and got the win. You just don't take anything for granted at this point, regardless of the opponent and the record and all that. We just, after watching those guys beat Fresno, you knew what they were capable of. Just didn't want that to be us today. Didn't want to have any kind of letdown coming off of an emotional game last week. And I think our guys did a good job of responding. Challenged them several times this week, even as often as yesterday, just about our focus. And I was concerned about that coming in. And last night at dinner, again, hit them up, and I thought they responded really, really well. We did some very silly things that made it a lot more interesting than it should have been. It's frustrating. But at the same time, we did some big things too, to respond when we needed to hold a team that runs the ball really, really well, hold them down and control that, and to create some turnovers. So a lot of good, some bad that we'll still need to teach from, but at the end of the day, we got to win, and we're bowl eligible, and I'm proud for the guys. So I appreciate what they're doing. And we took the next step we needed to take to just kind of control our destiny and where we really ultimately want to be. What questions do you have?
Well, I just have to ask you, how does your heart feel after this game?
Well, it was a little bit more distance between us and them, but when they made it a 13-point game, I was like, well, here we go again. Don't expect the play that we got out of Brandon Bowling, but that's a headsy play from a veteran player. And it definitely, it allowed us to have a little bit of room, but I never expected anything less. I told the guys all week, it's going to come down to last minute of the game. I'm surprised that it didn't. I'm surprised that it was out of reach before that point, just based off of how well they're coached and how they played against a couple really good opponents in our league already. And so I think we're fortunate to be able to put it in the position that we did as early as we did.
Coach, feel like you guys finally put things together on both sides of the ball for most of the game?
And I don't mean this badly, but I just in my mind, I just see, penalty when we shouldn't have it, turnover that we shouldn't have it for a time. I mean, those are the things that I see. I watch the rest, and maybe we did. We clearly made plays in all three phases. I thought we did the same thing last week as well against a really good football team. So I think we've made a lot of progress, and we're still growing up, but we still make some really silly mistakes at times that we can't afford to make. Game should have been put away a lot earlier, similar to last week, and we did just enough things wrong that I think are primarily self-inflicted mistakes, and that's what still plagues us at times. It's something we desperately need to learn from and try to avoid moving forward. But I do see all three phases of the team making steady improvement, and that's really our ultimate goal, is 1 degree better on a daily basis, and I think we're getting there.
Coach, Devin Tompkins, he crossed 1,000 yards receiving with this game. He's the first person to do it in a while here, at least. How does his presence change this offense?
Well, number one, I hope he's just one of many to do it in the future, because I think we're just getting started on what we can do offensively, and clearly we like to spread the ball around. He just is a huge spark plug. His ability to play big for a small guy. He elevated a couple times in one-on-one situations and played above the rim. That's not something everybody can do, especially when you're 5'8". His energy is infectious. His work ethic is unmatched, to be honest with you, on our football team. He is the hardest working player on our football team, offensively speaking, and that makes everybody else around us. There's a lot of residual benefit from a guy like that, and a guy that loves playing ball. And he is, I think you guys look, he gives you a tremendous amount of confidence when you put him in a traffic situation or a one-on-one. The guy just finds a way to make the play.
How encouraging was it to see your guys put constant pressure on their two quarterbacks today?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's something we're desperately going to need down the stretch. A lot of people on our schedule from here on out, they like to throw the ball. We need to be able to make them uncomfortable. I thought we did a good job of that. Clearly, when the game got into a position where they needed a few scores, it helps a little bit. But I was probably more impressed with our ability to shut down their run game. That's just not something that anybody has had a whole lot of success with, and we did a really, really good job of that today. And I think that probably benefits you because it does put them on schedule. Now you can pin your ears back and go play ball, and we did a good job of those.
Coach, just 1 year removed from this program going 1-5, and in your first year as head coach, what does it mean to you, your team, your players to be bowl eligible this early in the season?
Well, I just told them I'm super excited for them, but I never doubted that we would be bowl eligible. I really didn't. Watching this team work in the offseason, watching how they've progressed during fall camp, to me, I don't know if it's going to be pretty or ugly, but we're going to find a way. And this is, I want them to celebrate, but I don't want them to be satisfied by any means. That is not our goal. We want to keep getting better, and we want to make a run at this thing, and I think we put ourselves in a great position to do so. So, yeah, I'm excited for them, the fan base, but I just don't think there was ever a part of me that thought we'd do anything less.
Guys jumped out to a 17-0 lead, scored on your first 3 possessions of the game, and then 3 touchdowns in your first 3 possessions of the third quarter. So how nice was it to see the game plan work out, and then the in-game adjustments also work out coming out of halftime? Yeah,
I was pleased. We ran the ball well early, which was huge. We struggled a little bit with that, and I thought the plan was good. We ran the ball physically. Our third down conversion, 11 of 18 is off the charts good against these guys. So I think we did do a good job coming out ready to play, really on both sides of the ball. Felt like we let them get a little bit of breath and a little bit of air there in the second quarter, which I was, wasn't real fond of. But the response in the third quarter by offense and defense both was huge to at least put us in a position where, not that the game was over, there's still a lot of time left on the clock, but where you feel like it was going to take a lot of things on their part. They're going to have to play perfect ball, and we could, hopefully we could affect that as well. I would like to have seen it cleaner down the stretch. We had some silly things that we did late that could have made it, really could have put the game away a little bit earlier. And that to me is where the teaching aspect of things and the frustration comes from. Anything else?
Looks like one more.
Yeah.
We delve into a little bit more about the defensive line, just their aggression and how they shut down the Hawaii rushing game.
We felt like we matched up pretty good. We've been the smaller, group in the last several games. We've been outmatched physically, size-wise. They looked a little bit more like us. Thought that might help us. Some of our line movements were good. really just came out and executed the game plan really, really well. And then once we got them behind the chains and got them, where they were trying to come from behind, that doesn't benefit anybody. That's hard. You got to protect, and we have built the front to rush the passer, and you can see that later and later as the game went on. But I think just collectively, everybody doing their part early and putting us in a position where we're up, that helps the whole game plan.
That is the last comment from the coach again in the stadium. And any thoughts, Eric and Ryan, about the Aggies coach? 51-31 the final. If you're just tuning in, Utah State beat Hawaii. Game was probably a little wider margin even than that final score might indicate. But what are your thoughts of what the coach had to say? First with Ryan Boehm, anything?
I thought it was funny. Occasionally we get a little critical on the team and people, give us a hard time about that. But, listen to the coach. All he can think about is the mistakes they made and how they need to improve. So even, I appreciate that. That's just him having a sense of perfection and where he knows this team needs to be in order to win a Mountain West championship. You can't make some of those mistakes. You can't have some of those penalties. And so I think when he does get to watch the film, he'll be really proud of a lot of the stuff that we did. But certainly there was, many things that we did do in the second half, particularly that kept them in the game. And so those are the things he'll talk about, ball security and that type of stuff to put a team away and close the door. So I thought that was pretty funny that those are the things he can remember.
Yeah, certainly high praise for how his team approached the game, and they came out for the start, scoring on their first three possessions. Kind of let some things happen to allow Hawaii to get back into it, but then making their adjustments and getting back after it again in that third quarter. It kind of struck me similarly as Ryan. Just he's thinking about the penalties when they came, the turnovers and when they came or how they came. But continuing to see this team improve. Trying to win in all three phases, and they did. They played well in all three phases of the game today.
When Utah State, again, is allowed, like we said, only 65 yards to North Dakota, everybody else has had at least 149 yards or 148 yards rushing against the Aggies this year. To hold Hawaii, who had been averaging the last little while, whoever they'd played, around the 200-yard mark, and they hold them to 12 rushing yards today. It just took Hawaii completely out of the kind of game they could play. They did use a quarterback with a little more mobility today than they had used the last couple of weeks in that freshman Schrager who came in late. But again, the Aggies defense really did a job up front today in this football game, and that was great to see, to not let them have any big runs running the football. That's been a big thing in almost every single game this year. The opponent's got a big run. Today, no big runs.
Yeah, I thought we had good push with Joyner and Vons and
the interior guys have to be doing a job
Henninger.
Against this, too. This is a veteran offensive line for Hawaii, too. Maybe more veteran than almost any in the league as far as starts go.
It's Vakauta. He got that fumble recovery.
He's played more and more and done things the last 2 weeks with fumble recovery. So Aggies win 51-31, 7-5-3 KVNU. And we've also got Byron Vons coming up from the stadium from our Mitch Hen line up there. It's game day continuing with Eric and Ryan and with you on KVNU. And again, it's brought to you in part. We got two new sponsors. Want to mention West Point Dairy. They ship butter all over the world, and they'd love to have you work for them. 213-9595. Very good wages. They start at $18. And also ChemDry of Northern Utah that not only cleans carpets but cleans other things. They really can clean your home and, again, make it, really clean and satisfied. And, again, with everybody's worried about keeping things clean and sanitized these days, they, of course, do that with your carpets and much, much more. ChemDry of Northern Utah. Game day continues on KVNU after this.
This is Jarek with Jarek's Fine Jewelry. October is our anniversary month. We've been helping couples find the perfect rings for over a decade. So to celebrate, we want to treat you to an anniversary dinner. Make it a date night on us. Come engagement ring shopping or anniversary shopping at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. We have over 3,000 rings in stock, including the newest custom designs. With no strings attached, no purchase necessary, we will buy your dinner at Sweeto Burrito. The entire month of October, come in ring shopping and Sweeto is on us. Make date night special. Make it Jarek's.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Your team's in the locker room ready to get out there and play to win, but you see a player you don't recognize. They're wearing your jersey and even know your coach's name. But who are they? Would you let this stranger look at your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing attacks work. In 2020, the number of phishing attacks against businesses doubled compared to the previous year. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Look, I admit in the past, we've been a little bit hard on Lewiston for not buying mattresses. All that has changed now. Lewiston has practically written IntelliBed into their city bylaws. This makes us feel like celebrating. Hooray for Lewiston! You're finally sleeping better, Lewiston. We thought that you were all insomniacs. Now we can relax. Good job, Lewiston. I gotta tell you, though, I am concerned about Mendon. My Mattress by the new Walmart.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is the center in Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and special events. Whether you're hosting a large or small event, you have the choice of inside with all the new modern interior renovations or outside along the scenic banks of the beautiful Logan River. The Riverwoods is an ideal choice, offering seamless planning, easy catering coordination, and will make your event as professional or as beautiful as desired. To book your next event or for more info, visit theriverwoods.com or call 435-750-5151. We'll see you at the Riverwoods.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Brenson, and Ryan Bowen.
51-31. Aggies led one time 41-10, their largest margin of the season. And they scored the most points they've scored in a game this year as they win it today over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. I have a question for both of you, a little bit. Okay, which games has Devin Tompkins not had 100 yards receptions in this year? 2 games. Eric Ryan?
2 games where he
hasn't gone for 100.
The 2 games we lost?
That's one of them is the one we lost.
Boise State?
Boise State had 60. Remember, he had 4 early catches in the game and never got another one.
Right, he
after
disappeared.
that. The other game. He had 8 catches in this game but didn't get to 100 yards.
North Dakota.
No, he had 172 against them.
Way off there.
The high, incidentally, Air Force 188, UNLV 180, so that helps you a little.
We've narrowed it down.
Washington State.
Oh,
94 yards, but, of course, a touchdown in that game. Very important in a close victory to get that all done. So Utah State, again, that's the only other games. Those are the 2. Okay, you said there was something. Again, our text number's available, 339-0321. And we had a caller during the break. Somebody was saying, do you think the coach took the starters out too early? I think we talked about that earlier. I think it was warranted. Even though it was 41-10, they scored to make it 41-17. Peasley came in, and that's where the 2 series with Peasley didn't go very well after that. But don't you think we've talked about it? I think it was warranted that maybe we take Bonner out and put Peasley in at those points?
I thought so, especially since Bonner was getting hit. I thought, look, we still got a lot of games to play, and he helped the Aggies win games, so protect your quarterback. You've got another guy who is capable. Give him some chance, give him some reps, and give Bonner a break. But Peasley, didn't make the most of it,
But don't you think, Ryan, it was kind of warranted at that time of the game for that to happen?
Yeah, you're up 41-10. It's almost the fourth quarter, whatever time it was. You got to put those guys in. You need them to get time. Peasley has shown this year that he can be effective. So nobody would have thought that he was going to go in and, have 2 bad turnovers. So, I agree that the coaches should have done that. And, hopefully he learns from this and plays a little bit more within himself. Obviously if he just, that fumble for a touchdown was just, he lost his mind on that play. But the other one wasn't as bad. He was scrambling, trying to make a play.
I think he thought he could probably outrun most guys.
Got caught from behind, didn't even see him coming.
So
yeah.
Okay, text line 339-0321 or our phone number 753-KVNU. In the text line, we have some stuff that maybe we need to react to.
This 5338 weighing in. Peasley did make a dumb play on the pitch back. However, Bonner has made several dumb plays this season, too. Let's keep things in perspective. Also, rushing is still poor, less than 3-yard average. Should be double that against a defense like Hawaii.
It was 2.9 was our runs per rush.
I thought running was okay
We had a 36, and that was the longest. After that, the longest run, I think, was 11 yards. Maybe Noah might have had one other one for 14, I think, after his
When we
36.
switched out running backs, a number of them, too. So that, I think, played a bit of a factor. 1326, I loved seeing McGriff and Terrell get involved today. They haven't been much of a factor. Our offense is very tough to stop when we're spreading the ball around like we did today.
I think that's a very, very valid point.
Yes, I like that. And then one more from 9503. Really happy how good Utah State played today. Holy cow, pun intended. Tompkins is such a good wide receiver. Do you guys see him going to the NFL?
Does he have he's got to, I mean, when he's making plays like this, somebody's got to take a look at him, don't you think, Ryan?
He'll get looks. He'll get invited to some combine stuff, and he'll show well. His size is going to be his problem at that level. I mean, I think he could probably get on a team as a return guy, maybe a little bit of slot stuff. I think he'll be, at least initially, he'll need to be kind of a journeyman type thing, and then if he can get on a team that likes him, he could definitely, like the Tom Brady Patriot years when he had, some slot receivers that maybe didn't have a lot of hype, but they just ran great routes and were able to,
and they'd make great catches.
Yeah. So I definitely think he can play. I don't know. I don't see him getting drafted, but getting picked up by somebody and then given a chance, I think he will.
Big time. Got a big heart. You can tell. Works hard. 45-yard kickoff return today to add to his all-purpose yardage. I think he's 3rd or 4th in the country in that. He's in the top 3 or 4 as far as catches and receiving yards. And of course, added to that today, even though he didn't add a touchdown, 7 catches, 176 yards in the game. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, one of our sponsors, from the runny nose and itchy eyes of seasonal allergies to the careful control of serious food and drug allergies. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat can help both adults and children. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for more details. CacheValleyENT.com. And I thought, again, the interception early in the game at the goal line might have turned this game around. It might have been 7-7 early, and who knows. And it was Byron Vaughns, who during the offseason, he was all over social media. It was one of the most character guys, and you can tell he's fun-loving and fun to be around. But we've waited for this Texas transfer, and I thought today was really one of his huge games, obviously, of the year, and so they had him in after the game to talk to him.
Obviously, you've gotten more and more healthy and more acclimated to the defense as the season's progressed. So how good does it feel now that people are really seeing your potential?
Well, when I was being hurt, I wasn't really worried about people seeing my potential. I was just worried about being a positive role model on the sideline. Because I know people do look up to me as, I guess you could say, a leader on the team or defense. So when I was hurt, I want people to see how he still hurt, but he has a positive outcome on the team. So now that I'm back and people to see the impact that I'm having on the team definitely is an amazing feeling.
Ryan, you play with a ton of energy through the game. You're always dancing, celebrating, having fun. How do you think that impacts your game and the rest of the defense to give off those kind of positive vibes?
Well, it impacts my game sometimes. I lose a little bit of energy. My jaw down on kickoff, I might be so tired. But when the juice is from one player and then another player picks up the juice, it's just contagious. And once the defense is going, I don't know if y'all heard spring ball game, but nobody was in the stands who had juice ourselves. That's how we feel on the field.
I think a big key over the last few weeks is early in the season, it was Justin Rice basically getting all the turnovers. You guys have been sharing the wealth lately, and you've been creating more and more turnovers. So how big of a deal is it to have other people involved and everyone, all sorts of people creating turnovers now?
The more turnovers, the more people that can create more turnovers, the more victories we will have as a team, and the less stats the opposing offense will have. So more turnovers, more victories, great defense.
So you guys have had some shaky games in terms of run defense last about 3 games, but today, I think it was like 45 yards rushing or something like that.
Somebody told me 12.
I'm just way off.
Jesus.
Oh, it is 12. I don't know where I got 45 from.
Hey, shout out to the defense, from the D-line, the linebackers, to the safety. the run game was beautiful today. We played great as a defense. Definitely give a round of applause to those guys.
Yeah, it's like, what was the change from those games where you're averaging almost 200 yards allowed rushing to today where it was 12?
That's football is football. Some days the offense can get rolling, and it's hard to stop the run. And some days the defense, once we settle down and we stop the run from the jump, it's a problem to get it going.
How big of a deal was it to make them drive? I mean, that's a team that feeds on big plays. They've had quite a few big plays this season, Turner Jr. especially. So how big of a deal was it to make them really drive down the field today?
Minimizing big plays is definitely something that we emphasize this week, because we know that shots, big runs, is something that they live off of. So we counteracted the big plays, and us as a defense will have a great day.
Byron, how are you and some of your teammates feeling at this point of the season, just like physically and stuff? You guys healthy, feeling good, or worn out?
Well, after you get back from a battle, you're not going to be 100%. But when I look to my left, look to my right, and I look my teammates in the eyes and say, I'm going to ride with you, I expect them to do the same thing for me. So we don't worry about bumps and bruises. Once the battle is over, go get treatment, come back for another war.
That again, Byron Vaughn's after the game. You know, he says when he got healthy, he was going to contribute. He actually has appeared in every game this year. He has had a tackle in every game this year up until today. And he had about 2.5 tackles for a loss on the season. This is a guy, remember, who transferred from Texas. He's out of Fort Worth, Texas. He is a junior, 6'4", 230 pounds, number 30. And I know you look at Twitter a lot. He was all over that whenever I saw things during the offseason when he first got here at Logan.
Yes.
He seems to have been a real fun guy right from the start. And you could tell he'd be the fun kind of guy to have on the team with you.
Yeah, he looks like he's a big personality, active guy. We haven't really seen a lot of him being an impact player yet to this season, but he's coming back from an injury. He hasn't been 100%.
But he has still played.
He's been participating.
But again, he hasn't given up, and boy, he was really good today.
But he made impacts in several different key possessions for Utah State today, and that front line did a great job today, not just getting after the quarterback, but as he corrected the question, only giving up 12 yards
not
of
40
rush,
or something.
not 45.
It wouldn't, you can just listen to a guy like that, Ryan, and you'd love to have him in the locker room in a lot of ways. And he's colorful, but he also he made plays and stood up today.
Yeah, I mean, you get out there, you want to have high energy guys that are going to keep coming all the time, and especially on the D line. So, he went out and had a great game. We need more of it. When you're a little banged up, like if you got a pulled hammy or, a groin or something like that, and you just never quite feel like you can go 100%, that gets in your head. And then you start thinking about it, and then you're not 100% focused on the game. And so, the fact that he's maybe been a little bit banged up to this point and now he feels healthy, that's kind of liberating for a guy like him to just know, okay, I know I can go 100 and it's not going to hurt me more. And hopefully, we're kind of just seeing his potential, what he can really do.
I think from the start, it's been Justin Rice that we've noticed defensively from the start of the year. But, I mean, Nick Henniger would probably be about second maybe in all the defense from start to finish. And today I saw Henniger, Vaughns, and Joyner off the edges coming after Hawaii when they were going to pass the ball. Wasn't that more noticeable today, Ryan, than you've seen in any other game this year?
No question. And it's something that we need because we don't play a ton of man. We play a lot of kind of zone, I hate the cliche, but the bend don't break type of defense. The only way that works is if you get pressure on the quarterback because you can't cover for that long. And especially if it's zone, they're just going to sit down in these little zones and be wide open. And so you need to get some pressure with the front four. I liked our blitz package. I would prefer that we be aggressive and then give up some plays versus sit back and just, let them chunk the ball all the way down the field. So I liked the style today better.
I think there were 4 sacks in the game. Would you agree with that then, Eric?
Yeah, I thought that the way they were able to pressure Cordero made life really tough on him.
And Joyner was there a lot today, too, besides these other guys. Maybe he didn't make as many plays, really, in the end, but he was putting a lot of pressure on those edges, too.
And somebody else defensively who's been emerging is a Johnny Carter. I mean, he's been making plays the last couple of games. Either it's a pass breakup or making a play on a ball that's in the air, getting an interception. So that secondary has been making some big plays for Utah State.
And Cash today with the interception, and he got called for the one penalty on that one play that he didn't think he deserved, when he went in and went under the guy's legs or whatever. But he also, again, was noticeable today in the game. And McGarry, another transfer, the Troy guy, he's starting to see more and more time in the secondary around the plays, and he was in there a couple plays today, too.
A text that's come through on our text line, this is from 5338. It says, I'm not typically that guy, but it was nice to finally get some home cooking from the Zebras. Some of those reviews, it looked like, okay, that's a catch.
Yeah.
And they said, nope, it wasn't a catch. And then that was a catch. No, it wasn't a catch. So it was weird how some of that went early in the first half on some of those reviews and then changed a little bit later on. But that third quarter just seemed to take forever, and part of that was all the reviews.
First play was a review, and then the second play was an injury, and it did take a long, long time. All right, so Ryan, let's see. I'm going to let you go here a little bit. I know you got Halloween night. I know you've been doing things with your family today. So any other final thoughts on this game? And looking forward to New Mexico State, the next game, going out of conference. Is it a little bit of a worry about things to go out of conference after we've now got back into it and we really need to run out this conference divisional thing? You worried about that at all?
A little bit. It's pretty easy to kind of let down on a game like this where New Mexico State, we should beat this football team.
I mean, they're 1-7, I think. I don't know if they're playing today or not, but they're 1-7 after they lost to Hawaii.
Yeah, so it would be pretty easy to let down in this game. You just want to go out, take care of business, nobody get hurt, and then get back into conference schedule. But I think we're trending in the right direction. This was our best game all around. So I'm hoping that this is just the beginning of us really starting to gel and play well on both sides. Because we've got our destiny in our hands, and we can certainly win out. We can definitely win out and then be playing, probably San Diego State in the championship game. So that to me is super exciting. I'm actually watching right now the Colorado State-Boise game. And
Colorado State's ahead, right?
13-0.
Yeah.
So they're kind of taking it to the Broncos. So, if they were able to pull this out, obviously, Boise's kind of out of the running in the West or the Mountain Division. So we're in a pretty good spot right now.
New Mexico State did have 159 yards out of a running back against Hawaii last week. They had 228 out of their quarterback. He was 24 of 54, though, in the game against Hawaii. They lost twice to Hawaii. They lost at home worse than they lost in the islands to
Weird
Hawaii.
Home
actually.
and home that they did with them. But New Mexico State off this weekend. They get a bye week.
They get a bye for that. Ryan, we'll let you. We'll say goodbye to you. Appreciate you joining with us on this Saturday, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Take care. We'll see you.
All right. Ryan Bohm, the Aggie running back on our game day. Give you one last chance to call in or to text in at 753-5868 is our phone number if you have questions, comments. And our text number is 339-0321. We'll take one final break, and we'll have that and the final stats on game day as we continue on KVNU, brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Now, we're getting to the colder season. Got to make sure your furnace is ready to run, and they'll help you. They'll get it tuned up. They'll get you a brand new furnace. 752-7272. They bring you game day.
Colonel. Good morning, sir. I see you found a way to keep our cannon out of the mud. Pavers, sir. As a mason, I used to lay them for courtyards and patios. Brilliant. Thank you. They hold up beautifully no matter how punishing the conditions. I can see that. Say, after the war, think you'd be available to pave my patio at Mount Vernon?
Stone pavers from Castellite really catch your eye. Do it yourself with the expert help at Castellite. For all your brick, block, rock, paver, and tile needs, go where the pros go. Castellite.com.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. We offer a large selection of personalized service and extraordinary benefits with our integrity price guarantee. At match quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing, so you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
My name is John Brenchley. Last year, my father, Lynn, passed away. Our family misses him tremendously. From the first phone call we made to White Pine Funeral Services until he was laid to rest, White Pine helped us every step of the way. The staff was there to guide us through the entire process. They were kind, gracious, and their facilities are amazing. White Pine helped to make the difficult situation of losing my dad into a positive experience where we could remember him and celebrate his life.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
I'm here with Jay Broadbent from Alpine Home Medical. Jay, I hear your ads for CPAP resupply all the time. What do I need to do to just get that taken care of?
It's easy. We can set up your CPAP resupply within a few minutes. We'll work out all the insurance for you, and then we'll start mailing the supplies straight to your door. You can even chat with a CPAP specialist online. Just visit us at alpinehomemedical.com. We'll have you sleeping better in no time.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
KVNU Game Day returns with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Frenson, and Ryan Boehm.
Yeah, the Aggies 51-31 over Hawaii. Big part of the game. Again, only 12 rushing yards for Hawaii when they've tried to be a little more balanced under Todd Graham. And that's Todd Graham's style. That's what Blake Anderson said. And they actually came into this game with their highest rushing average they had had going since 1995, averaging 176 in all games. They lost to UCLA, lost to Oregon State, so they played some good teams. And the Aggies hold them to 12 yards rushing today in the game. In their last two games, they've had 5 touchdowns of 75 yards or longer. Hawaii has. They did get the fumble recovery return for a big play today. Their next biggest play was 29 yards today. We've been giving up too many big plays. That was another big part of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Aggies gave up, what was it, 5 explosives, I think is what I have.
But the longest, other than fumble recoveries, the 29-yard touchdown. The 29-yarder.
But Utah State had 7 explosives. And 3 of those were for 45 yards or more. Those are huge plays for Utah State. Text has come through. This is from 4086. Targeting call on Henniger? No, that was just the announcers getting that one wrong. He wasn't close to having the targeting call in there. But also, which bowl game are we going to? That will vary greatly depending on how many more wins Utah State gets.
And if you win the conference championship game, I think they've almost said it's the Jimmy Kimmel SoFi.
Yeah, go to Los Angeles.
SoFi Stadium.
The beautiful new
I think that's
NFL
where the champion
stadium
of the league goes to. Is that one. Aggies Bowl eligible now 10 of the last 12 years. They mentioned it on the TV. We mentioned it, Craig and I, first thing on our game day. All of this Aggie modern stuff of the last 10 years of winning and going to the bowl games like we are now, except for a couple of years like last year and one other, is because of the 2011 game in Hawaii when we're behind 28-7 and it's looking like we're a 2-5 team, going to go to 2-6 and maybe just finish out the year. We rallied without Chucky Keaton in that game, who's now a great coach on this team. And the Aggies won that game, and we've never really looked back. We now don't think about being a losing football program anymore like we were for all those years, except for the breakthrough in 93 and then John L. Smith's one year. That's it.
Yeah, this really is a golden era of Utah State football, considering the string of successes, or at least bowl invitations, bowl opportunities that Utah State is at. The expectations now are very different than they were 15, 20 years ago. So it's fun to be a part of that. And this coaching staff, man, huge kudos goes to them for how quickly they will get this team back on track to having a winning program, back to bowl eligibility.
Yeah. Just want to mention, just out of the context of the Aggies, Bronco Mendenhall and BYU tonight. How about that?
Yeah, that's in Provo, right?
ESPN 2 at about 8 or 8:15 or something.
Interesting how that arena reacts to him when he shows up, and how that plays out. That Virginia team's got a really good quarterback.
They've been going pretty good lately.
So that'll be an interesting football game.
And Utah tonight, they're honoring their 2 players who have been shot in those off the field, shootings, and the Christmas one last year. The other both wore 22. They're going to do 22 as a retired number. And you said everybody in the Pac-12 today honored Utah with that.
Really cool gesture. Every home team in the Pac-12, and I don't know if it's just for today or if they'll do this throughout the rest of the season, but They go to the 22-yard line. Hash mark has been painted red to recognize and honor what is going on at the University of Utah today.
Isn't that neat? And right now, it's still 13-0 Colorado State over Boise State. And again, the other final was San Jose State beating Wyoming 27-21. Wyoming is 0-4, but they showed a little bit more in that game today than they did last week to lose to New Mexico at home, like 14-3 or something. I think it was last week.
Really surprising, yeah. Hawaii
Wyoming's better than that.
Wyoming started out pretty good, but they were kind of like fool's gold. They didn't really know what they had because of the teams that they've played, but really shocking to see how they've really struggled in conference play so far. 2 future opponents for USU.
Valladay had 172 yards, and the San Jose quarterback threw for 150 and a touchdown in the game. Coach Brandon's still a pretty good coach there. And San Jose's now on the season 5-4, 3-2 in conference play, but Wyoming is 0-4 in the Mountain West. All right. Eric, appreciate it very much. Thanks for joining with us today.
Always a pleasure.
And again, you're getting next week off with a family obligation.
Yeah, I've got somewhere else I got to be next weekend.
I think you just don't want to talk about New Mexico State anymore.
Aggies on Aggies.
Yeah, we don't like that. All right, Cache Valley Bank, again, with the most convenient locations all over Utah now. And remember, Smithfield, North Logan, Hiram, downtown Logan, in front of them all. They've even announced Preston coming up now for Cache Valley Bank. The final stats today in the game, the Aggies end up with 564 yards. Hawaii had 360. Passing, the Aggies had 406, and the Rainbow Warriors had 341. USU had 158 rushing, and Rainbow Warriors 12. They had 10 penalties for 89 yards. The Aggies had 7 for 80. The turnovers were 3-2 for Hawaii having more, so the Aggies win the turnover battle again for about the third consecutive game and get another victory. And I think we've mentioned most of the individual stats, but again, Bonner ended up 21 of 30, but about his last 3 or 4 passes were incomplete in this game. And so he ended up with 361 yards and 4 touchdowns. Peasley was 1 for 2, 45-yard, that long bomb. But then on the rushing game, Elion Noah had 111 yards. Bonner had 25 yards. Makakona had 22. Gentry had 18. And then Tompkins, 7 catches, 176. McGriff had,
it's been a trying year.
McGriff ended up with 7 for 176. I'm sorry, that was Tompkins. McGriff had 5 for 90 and a touchdown. Wright had 4 for 83 and a touchdown. Carson Terrell had 2 for 34 and a touchdown. Jordan Nathan had 2 for 12. Good to see him back in offensively besides catching punts. And then Bowling had 2 for 11, including a touchdown, and then had the kickoff return on the onside kick that bounced right to him. Rice had 8 tackles. Carter had 6, and Yawu had 5. The Aggies end up, I think, with a total of about 4 sacks, maybe 5 sacks in the game. So that's kind of the final stats for Cache Valley Bank. So it will be New Mexico State next week. That's a 2 o'clock game. It's available on Flow TV for all of the Aggie fans to watch it from Las Cruces. There won't be a lot of people down there. There never is for their games down there. But, again, we'll see how it goes. They're 1-7 against the Aggies going out of league and then back to the Mountain West to finish it off is what they try to do. The final, Utah State 51-31 for sponsors and for everybody. Good night.
You informed.
We'll keep you up to date.
24/7. News Talk KVNU Logan. 102 FM, 610 AM, and 102.1 FM. Northern Utah.